All right, Papa, lay down.
Hello there.
All right, whenever you're ready, buddy. You can give me a head nod and we'll get it going.
Let's get after it.
All right. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Good. I'm chilling, brother. How you doing?
Good, man.
We finally made it happen.
Yeah. Cheers
I know.
to
We
that.
cheers to that, man. This
Good
is
to
the
be here.
this is the first podcast of the Brandon CRUZ podcast in the new studio.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Dude, this
feels great,
place, I wish you guys could see it. It's
I'll do a
incredible.
little freaking. I'll do my camera stuff on this one day when it's all clean and
There's
stuff.
some sweet art on the wall,
Of course, there's.
if I must say.
He did this photo, so if you hear him bragging about it throughout the podcast.
I wasn't talking about that.
No, this is a badass shot, dude, and I am so happy that you had sold it to me before I found out that you took it on a Nikon, because I just probably wouldn't have gotten it. But
Ouch.
no, I'm just fucking with you. I love your shit, man. That's seeing stuff like this. If anyone, I'm sorry, but I'll speak loudly. If anyone can see how beautiful this composition is and just know the timing of this shot and just what it took to get this shot, it's absolutely incredible. And I had to get it, man.
Thank you.
You're a rock star, bud.
My number one supporter so far.
Yeah.
The only one that's bought one.
Dude, as soon as I saw you post it on your story, I was like, let's go. Like, that's going in the office for sure. You just ran a fucking crazy event. I
Hood
wanna
to
say.
coast.
Hood to coast, man.
Hood to coast.
So could you please describe that for the viewers, man? You told me about it, and I was just kind of blown away that you accepted it in such a late time, in a late fashion.
Yeah.
But
I don't think the lateness of the fashion was the funniest part of it. I think how it all came to be was the funniest part of it, because a girl reached out to me on Hinge, the dating app,
Sick.
and we had a little back and forth. I think it was like maybe 2 sentences. And then she was like, "This is going to sound weird, but I have an intriguing offer for you." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh no.
And I was like, I literally have no idea what it could be. And she's like, "So I'm trying to recruit people to run Hood to Coast with me." And I was like, "That's sick." And I didn't even care. I called her.
She's just on there recruiting
Yeah.
people. She's not even
Yeah,
there
no
for the
dating.
dating.
No dating.
I already got a boyfriend.
And so I was like, I called her and we talked for like half an hour. I was like, "Okay, what do we have figured out? What do we need to do?" And I was just like, "This sounds legit." Like, so it's a $2,000 entrance fee. A lot of people don't know that. And she said it was fully paid for. And I was like, "So all we have to do is like get some cars together and we can run this for free basically?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Sold."
Yo, that's you don't see that happening very
No,
often.
And Hood to Coast is a very exclusive event. Like, a lot of the teams are reserved by Nike and some of the other big companies around here. So there's only a few slots and they sell out. So as soon as the races ran, they basically sell out for the next year, like that day.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's something that's like planned very far in advance. So to be like, I was like, when am I going to have that opportunity again?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I reached out to my buddy because he had asked me to run it a few weeks prior. So I was like, "Are you guys still running it?" And he was like, "No, we dropped out." And I was like, "Oh, dang, that's tough." And then I sent him the screenshot of the messages.
Oh my
and
God.
he was
dude.
just like, "Dude, you got to do it. That's going to be such a funny story. Like, you got to do it." And I was like, "Yeah, I think you're right. I got to do it." And so
That's definitely one of those movie stories for sure.
yeah. And so I was like, well, okay, each leg is between 5 and 7 miles. Oh, for those who don't know, Hood to Coast is a 200-mile relay from Mount Hood,
I was gonna say, please.
Oregon, all the
Describe
way to the Oregon coast. It goes through Portland, all through like the western part of the state of Oregon, basically. And so I start training for this, right? Because I'm like, I can't run 15 miles with no training, right?
Yeah.
And so I start running. So I do 10 runs, 40 miles total over 2 weeks. And to me, that's not crazy because I used to run like 4 miles a day. Like I did 1,000 miles in 1 year. I've ran a marathon before. So to me, that wasn't like the worst, but I hadn't done it in such a long time where I was like, this is going to be rough no matter what. But like, I have an idea of what that's like. So I'm not going to die. But by the end of the training, I did this one last longer 6 mile run because I didn't know which legs I had at that point. So I might have a longer leg. So I wanted to be able to, can I run
to
6
be
miles?
able to prepare for
So
whatever's coming.
you do this last 6 mile run and my Achilles are just on fire. Like I've never had this pain before in my Achilles, and it was just overuse and not stretching and a bunch of other stuff you shouldn't do. But so I took it easy for the last couple runs. I was basically just kind of not really running, just jogging basically, like really trying not to injure anything. And so we had our start time was 5:40 a.m., which means you have to be at Mount Hood at 5:40 a.m.
Oh, God.
And so we woke up at
You just camped there?
2 o'clock. And I think we had gotten like 2 hours of sleep the night before.
Sorry, she's chewing up. You better not do that, baby girl. What are you doing? Chewing up my carpet, man. Hey! There you go.
So we gotten like 2 hours of sleep the night before. Drove.
Perfect amount of sleep.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
For a marathon.
It's like Will Ferrell and Elf, 45 minutes. The perfect. I got a full 45
rise
minutes.
and grind.
So we wake up, we drive out there, and it's freezing cold. Like it's windy as heck on the top of the mountain, which makes sense. And we're standing there just getting ready to start and stuff, and every 5 minutes there's a wave of people taking off down the hill. And the first leg is straight downhill. So there were a lot of people that didn't want to do it because they were worried about their knees. And I honestly was too. I was like, this probably isn't going to be great for me, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I ended up taking probably this, I think it was like the second least amount of mileage because like my Achilles were not feeling great. I was like, I don't want to overdo it. And so I run this first leg and we take off. I'm just like running on adrenaline, just super hyped, like trying not to go too fast. And as I'm running downhill, I'm thinking about my knees, but I'm also like, I feel good, you know?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go for it. And I just opened up my stride. And if you guys don't know, I'm 6'4", so like
just lanky.
Yeah.
Just long.
Dude, striding it out downhill. I got to the end of my leg and I ran 6 minutes and 42 seconds for 5.5 miles.
Dude, that is so sick. I would be the
Because
one
I was
that's
just
like
straight downhill.
I'd be like, do you have to run? Like, can I just like
Yeah.
like let gravity do the work and just roll?
No, that's exactly what it was. I was like, after there was like part way through the race where I was like, I wonder if I could find some like just downhill races where there's no uphill. You just run straight down. Oh my God. But it was a ton of fun. And it was like, I got done. I was so hyped. I was like, all right, let's fucking do this, baby.
It's crazy because like once you get downhill too off that like little ramp, your body, you're so juiced up and you're such on a full downhill sprint that you just end up running in like an extra mile of just like the cool down from like those long strides.
Oh, you're just feeling great.
Oh, it's a good time.
So that was the first leg. And there's 36 legs. There's 2 vans. So there's supposed to be 6 people in each van. We had 5 people in our van because one person dropped out at the last minute. So we're trying to figure out how to split up. Each person runs 3 legs if there's 12 people. But we're trying to figure out how to split up 3 of the legs because we only have 5 people. And so what ends up happening, my buddy Nick, shout out Nick LaCava, he just ran an ultra marathon, 31 miles.
Shout out Nick, dude. Shout out Nick.
The GOAT.
That's a GOAT move right there. That's a beast
So
move.
he,
100%.
there's another funny part of it. I was kind of recruited 2 weeks before, and then I reached out to people and actually brought 3 of the people on. So 4 out of the 5.
So it's like a pyramid scheme of like people like trying to do this thing.
Well, I think once everyone was like, oh, it's paid for, and And they're all runners. So
That's how they
one
get
girl,
you.
one girl.
That's how they get you right
You're
there.
like, yeah, you're a human, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's one girl I met at a wedding the month before for some friends and saw that she had run a half marathon. So I was like, hey, want to run Hood to Coast? The next person had ran a half marathon literally like 2 days before. And I was like,
Sick.
hey, we need someone. Do you want to run Hood to Coast? And then Nick, who is doing this,
Ultra
marathon
Yeah.
stuff, I was like, obviously.
He's like, that's a cool warm up.
So 4 out of the 11 people on our team, including me, I was responsible for with 2 weeks notice.
Dude, but what a squad you just pull up with.
Yeah.
Like
And we all
some
got
random dude on Hinge.
Yeah.
She's just like, I hope he's just like kind of down to go and just kind of, give some effort.
Yeah.
You just come up with a fucking superstar team right behind you.
Yeah. Well, if we did
That's
if I
sick.
didn't do that, like there wouldn't have been a team because there were people dropping out and stuff.
So
and
you have to have
you have to have a
specific
minimum
number.
of 8. But if you have 8, that means everyone is running 4 to 5 legs instead of 2 to 3.
Ooh.
Or 3 to 4, I guess. But anyways, it's a huge difference because every leg is 5 to 7 miles, basically. So that was another funny part of it. So everyone runs their legs. So we run the first 6 legs. And so we're done by like 10, 11 a.m. And then we hand off the baton to the second van. They run the next 6 legs. Then we run the next 6, so on and so on until you're done.
Yeah.
So you have 4 to 5 hours in between, depending on how fast people are running. So we took that first 4 to 5 hours, went back to my place. Everyone showered, got food. It was really nice because a lot of people don't really have that luxury unless they live in Portland. So there are international teams, people coming from all over the place, and you're just in this sweaty, stinky van for like 30 hours, and it's disgusting.
It's like the Olympics, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the second one, the second leg I had was in downtown Portland, Tillicum Bridge. I got to run
sick,
across it.
dude.
That's where I started.
Dude, that is awesome.
And then ran up the waterfront, up like near St. John's. That
That's
was
a
my
lucky
second
leg right there.
It was amazing.
That's a cool leg
It was
right there.
5 miles, super flat. It was kind of hot out. And the one not great thing that happened was a homeless man swung a wrench at me while I was running by.
Dude, I was just about to make a homeless joke, but I mean, it
It's
actually
not
happened,
a joke.
so-
It's real. It is real. Watch out.
Dude, come to Portland. You will see. You
So
will see what we mean,
yeah,
man.
they couldn't catch me. I was running too fast.
Still running off that downhill stride.
Yeah.
You just didn't even take the fucking van.
Yeah.
You just kept it
Dude.
going from the mountain.
Yeah. After that second leg, I was hurting pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Those Achilles.
yeah, I mean, it was just you're just tired, and it's the sun sucks the energy out of you when you're running. Like it was tough.
Was it more physical or mental? What do you think?
I think with just knowing what condition my body was in, it was half physical, half mental. Probably
Okay.
it was probably half and half.
The physicality made it a mental thing.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I was going to be fine. I still ran, so that one I think I did 8:30 for 5 miles. So it wasn't like super slow. It wasn't my fastest, but and then the last one, they have these sleeping fields that they designate. So once you get to a certain point in the night, everyone needs to sleep at some point for at least a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So they have these sleeping fields that you can go to after like leg 24. And so we're sleeping in these fields, but it's like we went and got dinner, and then it's like 10:30, 11 at night, and my next leg, we're estimating that they're going to be at the exchange point at like 12:30 in the morning. So I get like literally an hour and a half of sleep in this sleeping field. And it's freezing cold. Like there's car alarms going off in the background. You're like trying to get some sleep. And
You're restless from your body being overworked and used and
Oh no, I passed out. I was like,
were you? Yeah.
Apparently I was snoring pretty loud,
my
which
God,
which
yeah.
is weird because I don't snore that much.
Yeah.
And so
It's different when you get 2 hours of sleep in an
oh
hour.
yeah, and you've been just like physically exhausting yourself. I was
Yeah.
like,
I paid for this. No,
Yeah.
I didn't pay for this,
I
but
didn't.
somebody did.
Yeah, and so that was the second, and so the beginning of the third leg, it's literally 12:31 in the morning, and it's my last like 4 miles, and so I'm running this. It's basically just like a slight uphill in the dark on the shoulder of the road in the hills. like halfway out to the coast in some random road. And I tried to push it, so I got like 8 minutes per mile on that one just to try and finish off strong. And then I finished, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't have to run
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Is it over?
Yeah, but shout out to Nick and Kevin because they took those extra 3 legs. So I think Nick ran the first extra one, Kevin ran the second, and then they were gonna rock paper scissors for the third one.
Oh my
which is
God.
just insane because
Yeah.
it's like you don't know how you're gonna be feeling. Anyways, Kevin wasn't feeling. He was like, "I'm gonna do it," and then he wasn't feeling great. He's like, "Dude, can you do it?" And Nick was just like, "Yeah, I'll take it."
Dude,
And
I run ultra marathons.
yeah,
Come on.
so
Of course I'll take it.
yeah, so he crushed it. Yeah, he did I think 30 miles total during hood to coast over the 2 days. So once we finished all our legs, we drove to Seaside, passed out in my car for 3 hours, woke up around 9, and then we go to the beach because it's hood to coast. So we're at the beach waiting for the second van to get there, and then we all kind of run across the finish line together.
Oh,
so
sick.
it was super cool. I'm so happy that I did it because it's one of those things you can look back on and just be like, dude, what if I didn't do that? Or like, it's the memories, you know.
Yeah.
And I met so many. So the other second van was all random people that I didn't know that are like, hey, remember that one time we ran 199 miles to the coast?
Yeah.
Like that kind
So
of.
that was her
bonds you.
group of people that she had.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That, dude,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
They were saying we were in the car and it was like, yeah, we call it a trauma bonding, which is kind of what it was.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's it. I think it's so cool when you do things with a group of people. It doesn't even matter if you know them or you don't. Like that term trauma bonding, or just even going through something that is just intense like that, shows you like how unified you could be with people, you know. I mean, sports does it, like freaking war does it, and things like that. And it's, I want to see how like people can kind of not necessarily implement that into their lives as far as like that traumatic, but you know, I feel like we need to do a little bit more of that in life.
Yeah.
Just to get closer with people and more connected with people, because it's cool. Like it literally, like even if you never see them again, you know that you shared like that sort of bond with them that is beyond anything that you've, like, you'll remember them and that experience so vividly, you know.
And just like little moments that happen in between, like that you'll just like think back to, like, dude, you remember that? And it's just like these little moments that connect us all. And but like you were saying, it's so much deeper than like surface level stuff. When you're dealing with stuff that you have to struggle with. I mean, I think that's why, you know, the Marines are so great at what they do, is because they have to you know, suffer through things together, but that it molds them together. And it's like the Army, all the special services and stuff like that, the armed services, I guess, are it's incredible, like what you can do when people work together. I heard something, I can't remember who said it. They said it's amazing what we can accomplish when you don't care who gets the credit. And just sacrificing yourself for the team and stuff. It's like it's really powerful what it can do.
Well, it's so weird that we have such a hard focus on getting the trophy all for ourselves, you know, like just having all the attention point in one direction and not, you know, the feeling of winning with an entire team versus the feeling of you just winning is definitely so much different. Whoa.
Yeah.
The whiskey's hitting. It's so different though. It's so crazy that it's like, I've definitely felt that feeling before, but as I've gotten older, obviously like everyone starts splitting up and doing their own thing and getting a job, getting a girl, getting a wife, whatever. And not whatever. I love you, baby Jean.
Congratulations. They just got married like last week.
Yeah, that was sick, man.
Amazing.
But no, it's crazy, like thinking that I feel like I've somewhat slipped into that zone of like I run my own business now, and now like my whole focus is me being the most successful in my business as possible. But then realizing that everything that all the stuff that I have shooting here, this room, this everything, like it's so temporary, and it doesn't have, it's rewarding to a degree, but it doesn't like satisfy fully, you know.
Yeah.
It's all materialistic, you know. At the end of the day, it's like I didn't share this feeling with almost anyone except myself, you know. Being able to build all this, and then, which is awesome. It has a lot of perks, but also it's like it pushes me in a direction more towards like doing things like this, like being able to podcast with you, being able to film stuff with a collective group of people and create a project instead of me just doing a work of art all by myself and taking all the credit for it, you know. It's
Yeah.
I feel like life is such a trip when you're like going down that road, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I love doing stuff with people. It's, to me, it's always more fun than doing something by myself.
Yeah.
Because you build memories with people, and I mean, it's good to do things by yourself. Like I'm walking right now, and that's just something that I need to do just to move, you know. It's like you got to move your body. I mean, when you're looking at your watch and it's like 500 steps at the end of the day, it's
That
not
hurts.
good. Yeah,
It hurts.
well, I mean, you could feel it though. Like you don't feel good when you don't move, and so that's something that I do on my own just because I need to.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing an experience, I would always rather be with people than by myself.
Yeah.
And that's not like, I mean, there's certain things that you experience on your own that are like, huh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you like to be there with yourself, and you're like, yeah, I'm friends with myself. But
Yeah.
it's like, it's always fun to be with people. Especially if it's like people you like too.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, the time with yourself is just, I use a lot of my time. I'm learning a lot of my time that I use to myself now is like my growing time, my growing period, where I put a lot of emphasis and focus on like what I'm actually doing for myself. And once that's over, then it's like, okay, like obviously I've done everything that I need to do to like not be a psycho. You know, like my health is taken care of.
Yeah.
Like I woke up, I went to the gym this morning. I've been eating healthy. I drank water. You know, I'm journaling or reading, so I'm like gaining knowledge. I'm studying my craft, doing whatever. That's all over now. Now, like I can put all my focus and attention on X, Y, and Z, which is, you know, hanging out with people and figuring out like what you want to do in this life, which is so weird because I had someone like, I think it was yesterday, they asked me, they're like, I filmed a wedding this week, and the dude was like, hey, you're the camera guy, and I was like, yeah, I'm the camera guy. He's like, oh, sick, what do you do outside of that? And I like hesitated and I froze, and it really made me think. I was like, what do I do outside of like being with the camera? Like obviously, like I work out and cook and I hang out with my girl and I hang out with friends and I go fishing sometimes and do that stuff, but like I don't know, I want to elevate myself to a point where I'm like I'm actively searching for ways to expand my horizons in life and be able to open up and do things like Hood to Coast and do things like run a half marathon, a marathon, a freaking triathlon or whatever it is, you know. But it's I don't know, it's a cool journey.
Yeah, I would say like what you do though is not who you are. And I think a lot of times when people ask that question, like if they're saying like, oh, what do you do outside of that? They're trying to figure out like, who are you like as a person? Like, what do you do for work?
It's a trick question.
Yeah.
Got me.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a husband now. I'm a father to these two beautiful dogs.
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. It's like,
go say hi, and then they like bite you in the ankle.
But a lot of times when people are asking that, they already know. It's like, oh, you do this X, Y, and Z, make X amount of dollars, and whatever. They're trying to just put it in a box.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And people don't fit in boxes. I think that's something I've really leaned
Come
into.
to realize.
Yeah, because I feel like I know people have a certain perception of me, and and who I am based on looks or job or whatever it may be and stuff like that. But a lot of times it's like that's not who I am. You know, like if I told you I was a tax accountant, people would be like, well, aren't like tax accountants like really shy and don't like to talk to people and are really nerdy and stuff? And it's like, yeah, some of them can be, but that's not me, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a CPA. I got all that done. I'm not doing it anymore. Actually, just transitioned jobs. So,
Hey.
but I've
Pour
done
one
that.
out for the
Yeah.
boy.
Cheers.
Cheers to that one, brother.
But it's like most people don't like fit a mold exactly how I guess others, when they're asking that question, would like you to fit it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it was such a trick question to me, because I keep fucking getting ice in my mouth. Don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm like freezing the inside of my mouth. I'm like, No, it is such a trick question because I do a bunch of stuff, but I don't like do like one thing repetitively besides the video stuff.
Right.
But I feel like I'm like, I don't know, like I have some sort of like ADHD with things that I do, because I can't say I can't. I don't necessarily enjoy doing the same thing over and over again besides the video stuff. I like new experiences. I like experiencing like that. I literally like picked up mountain biking for like 3 months and went crazy on mountain biking, and then like just dropped it, and then learned how to podcast, started podcasting, then went to jiu-jitsu and did a bunch of jiu-jitsu, then picked up running and started running like crazy all the time.
Yeah.
And
saw
then,
that.
you know, and then just I just constantly do a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
And it feels good to have that like constant spark of like newness coming in. But it kind of stabs you in the back too, because you'll go through these like weird dry spurts where you're like, I haven't like seen something that has intrigued me, and like I don't want to mountain bike anymore, but I'm in this weird limbo zone of finding like what it is I want to do.
Yeah.
But I think that's just life. I mean, you just kind of figure it out over time.
Yeah. It's always good to feel like you're hunting something.
Yeah.
I think that's just the animal instinct.
Yeah.
Like you want to be chasing, just feel like you're chasing something that you want, or that is something new, you know, that's different, and it's exciting. It's exhilarating, because if you just do the same stuff forever, like it gets boring.
That's what blows my mind with
Yeah.
with the way in which you hear people talk about, I mean, the American dream, as far as like growing up, and I think that's definitely changing with our generation for sure. It's like we're understanding like, yo, that does not sound fun.
No.
You know, that doesn't sound chill. I can make, you know, X amount of dollars freaking mining Bitcoin in another country just with my laptop if I want to. And like I could just go run around with freaking all my clothes off in Ibiza, like just, you know, working online, you know, posting social media content or whatever. You know, it's a different game.
Yeah.
So it's just always blown my mind for the people that still think like, you know, what are you doing? Why don't you have a college degree and a 9-to-5 job and have benefits and Social Security? And obviously that all sounds nice, but it sounds like death, dude.
Yeah.
Knowing.
And also, do you know how much people are making on YouTube?
Oh my
or
God.
TikTok?
Bro. That shit blows my mind still.
There's some guy that I think he just reposted old nostalgic content. I think it was like every 5 minutes or something, he posted a video. And so he was basically just spamming people. But because it was stuff that people could relate to, it got so many views, and he made like $3 million or something on Snapchat. And it's like,
dude, TikTok is the number one, like, oh my God, I can't believe how much money you guys all make. Like the people who are actually up there, you know, I don't even know who it is. They're like Nelk Boys and
probably
like Addison Rae. It's probably the only two that I know.
Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio.
I don't know.
They do all the dances.
Do they do the yeah?
Everyone does the dances.
I
apparently.
fucking have no clue, dude. But
And you
they're
got
just
different like creator houses. There's like the
hype house. Yeah,
That's
I
the
saw
only
that
one that I know.
That's the only one I know too. But dude, Jesus Christ, man, they're sitting on like $40 million houses with like a bunch of like 17-year-olds, just like. That's great. That's it, bro. That's it.
What kind of content are we gonna make today?
Dude? I don't know. Like, maybe like you got a hair right there. Maybe try and like get it. Do it a little bit slower than that.
Yeah,
Oh my God, there it is.
yeah,
Just fix your hair.
yeah. And
Wink.
yeah, it's like,
That's it.
but there's people too that are like very like seductive about it, so they get a ton of views. It's
Yeah.
like it's some of it's just like super young girls just like singing lyrics
Mm-hmm.
like somewhat seductively, and it gets tons of views, so they
Mhm.
just keep doing it and make a bunch of money. And it's also like,
But that's what's so weird to me is like there is a huge market for this going on, and I'm always like, what is this like lead to? Because 20 years ago the computer came out, and everyone who was filing papers on just doing it by hand and not going into the computer age, all like kind of fell behind in their business and stuff like that, and didn't adapt. And so I'm like thinking like, if we don't keep up with what's kind of going on here, which I'm like, I had to delete TikTok and like get off social media
I
because
never downloaded it.
I literally will sit there until my fucking legs get numb on the toilet, like
Yeah.
just scrolling. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well,
But
I mean,
hate it.
but it's like it's also recycled on Instagram, so it's not like I'm really away from it because I'm
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
Reels. I'm still seeing the
Yeah,
same
dude,
thing.
it's just
But if it's
that
like,
finger is just flicking, man.
yeah, and it's yeah, it's super addictive, and I think like I think we kind of justify like why we need it when really you start to look at it and you're like, I don't really need this for anything, Like it's fun sometimes, but
But it's crazy when you actually. So, sorry, I got another ice cube in my mouth. I'm sorry, guys.
got a big one right here.
I had like somebody was me and my boys were in a group chat, and every day they would just like we were sending TikToks, but I didn't have the app, so I just like every time I clicked it and opened it, it would be like the browser and it'd be slow and like I don't know, it was annoying. So I ended up downloading it. When I downloaded it, I was on that shit like crazy.
Yeah.
I was just watching it 24/7, and then and
They made it super hard too, because if you click on it now in messages and they send the link, it asks you to download the app, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, so I'll copy the link and then like paste it in Safari so I can just watch the one
Oh
video and then
my
be done with it. Like
God.
I
See, yeah, that's too
refuse.
much work. And after I like did the whole like shake my head and like wake up sort of thing, like, oh shit, I've been like just for like a couple weeks now, I've been like hooked on this. Like my little screen time report came back and I was like, this is not good.
No.
So I deleted it, and after that I was like, bro, this is so crazy how like if you don't have it, it really doesn't like make a difference on your life whatsoever. Like it frees you up so much and gives you so much clarity and allows you to have your thoughts be more clear in different areas of your life at just random points throughout the day. But
Yeah.
when you have it, you're just, I mean, it may not be like that for everybody, but for me, it was like noticeable with how it was affecting my days. So
Yeah. And I think one of the big things is you could just delete it off your phone. You could still see it on your computer every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's a dopamine detox. I think that's what a lot of people talk about is like just letting it go for a while. I was listening to a podcast recently, and they were talking about that, how it's like porn is a similar thing where it's like it's very addictive. So it's like if you're getting too much of it, your brain is like you just do it, you start to do it mindlessly and you're not really even enjoying it, but your brain is trying to squeeze that last drop of dopamine out of it because it wants that hit. So you have to go away from it for it to have the same effect again. So you have to take, couple days or weeks, or if you've been doing it for years, like
Yeah.
you probably got to take a long time and take a break.
Yeah, but that's what's tough is a lot of these things are so habitual. And
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that your drink's gone, bud. Whiskey's inside.
I drink fast.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I know. Me too, dude. I can't have mixed drinks at all.
It's all good.
I'm at the bar like fucked up in the first 10 minutes. This fruity drink tastes so good.
This was a very good drink. Whiskey.
Well, thank you
whiskey
very
mule.
much, dude. I used to bartend about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate
still
it.
got it. No, that is so relatable, honestly, with just it's so odd to me how you slip into such a mindless goddamn ice. You slip into such a mindless zone where everything you do seems sort of, and not all day long, but in a lot of ways, especially on your phone, like a lot of the things you do will be so subconscious. It's kind of like walking, that you won't even realize that you're like fucking watching porn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're watching two people fuck, and you just did that mindlessly. Like, how did I get here? You just
Yeah.
like wake up and you're like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
You know?
You ever like drive down the freeway and you just like
Oh, all the time.
wake up and you're like, how did I get here?
It amazes me that I'm not dead.
Yeah.
It amazes me because I do the trip from here to like Chehalis, Centralia area.
Yep.
It's about an hour, 15,
half, yeah.
hour and a half up north from here. And dude, I'll start off here, open up a podcast. You know, you like slip into the podcast like you're almost sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll literally like be driving like you know,
Yeah.
like they say some funny shit and you're
Yeah.
like and then like a semi will like, or like all the cars will stop and you'll like slam on your brakes and like wake
Yeah.
up and be like, and you're there.
Yeah.
You're like, what in the fuck? How did I get here?
Yeah. Thank God for peripheral vision.
Thank God for your mind, like your mind and your body being able to operate
Yeah.
without you actually being there.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and just like seeing stuff
It's
come
pretty
at you
incredible.
that quickly. Have you seen any of the 9/11 stuff that came out recently?
No.
So there's been a ton of documentaries because it was just the 20-year
Yeah, yeah.
anniversary. And I've been watching the ones on Hulu. It's called 9/11 One Day in America, and it's all actual footage that people captured from that day.
Oh,
And
jeez.
recordings from phone calls, and it's in interviews from the survivors that were in the buildings, like on the 80th floor. And
They made it all
and
the way
they
down?
made it out. And it is crazy. But this one guy was describing, he was on, I think, the 84th floor, and he describes the second plane coming at the building and seeing it approaching him as it hit the building, and he's still in it, and he made it out alive. Bro. And it's
Oh my God.
like you were just saying, like as things approach you and you start to like wake up and stuff, but I can't imagine like what that feeling was like, seeing a 747 coming at a building that you're still in.
Dude, just jet speed just coming in hot, bro.
Yeah. I've watched like the conspiracy theory documentaries, just the regular documentaries. Like it's so fascinating to me, but I think if you're an American and you were alive during that time, I think it's just, I don't know, important to understand like what that event means to people. And it's very heavy and it's very sad, but it's also important to understand like how we got to where we are today.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's astounding that day like actually took place. It's one of the most fascinating, and not fascinating in a like I'm super amazed at like how it happened. I am amazed at how it happened, not in a positive way, just like so dumbfounded in how everything transpired and the stories that took place, and like, I mean, I didn't even know that people were even surviving at, you know, the 80th floor, but
Yeah.
people made it down there, and hearing the plane calls from or the people talking to their families on the plane when they brought it down, and dude, it's that things like that also unify, kind of like we were saying sports do, or tough experiences
Yeah.
unify not only those people in those circumstances, but people everywhere.
Yeah.
And I heard someone talking about this. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about COVID in this way, and that inevitably it's a, obviously we don't want it to happen, but in the generation that we live in the trajectory that we're heading in, I think it was somewhat in a positive way to unify people and have a common enemy as far as, a virus to, obviously it hasn't turned out that way. There's a lot of opposing sides, but but it for a lot of people it's helped out, build a strong community,
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the same side, I would agree.
That's what I mean.
Because I think it's in more ways it may have divided us. But if you're on the same side and it's something that you talk about, like I remember, and like we don't really talk about it that much anymore because it seems like it's over even though it's really not. But I remember like in the early stages of it, first few months, like, man, this thing, dude, COVID, right?
Yeah.
It's just like something you could like bond over almost.
Yeah.
Be
Well,
like,
I mean, before it
something
became
to talk about.
a political sort of movement, and I don't think it was COVID itself that became the problem. I think it was more of like the political side where it's like one side was believing one belief and the other side was believing another belief, and that's what caused the division. But I do remember like the first week that it hit, everyone was like not understanding what was going on, scared, you know, really caring for everyone because of the randomness of it and the unknown, so many people were so kind and just like looking to help each other out in any way that they could, and it was really cool to see.
Yeah. Where did you see that?
I saw it at my work when I worked in the restaurant. It's so weird because I was in Beaverton and Nike's in Beaverton, and I was working at this restaurant where Nike would come in and they would have their China team, because China's a huge part of Nike, and they would have their Chinese department come in and like, have these huge seminars and things like that, and they would constantly have banquet food like gatherings at that restaurant. So I would always have them coming in, and all of a sudden, like one week, they just all stopped. Like everything stopped. No one was coming in, and then like one person in the restaurant got COVID, and then it was like just wildfire. It was gone from there. Just can't believe I still haven't got it, but it's crazy. I mean,
Knock on wood.
there you go. Yeah. But no, I kind of wanted to not get to COVID because we all heard a lot about that. But
All right, we'll get
it's no, you were working for a big company before, and then you took a course to do real estate photography, video, and just get into the photo and video business.
Oh man, that's how we met.
You still doing it?
I would work on it here and there. I feel like this year I did a lot this summer, and
Always traveling.
yeah, tried to. I felt like this summer is the busy season for real estate, and I feel like I kind of just let it pass by. And I got the course in February of this year, went through it, studied it, and started to get some of the systems in place. So I got the website pretty much all set up, except for like one thing. I got the customer relationship management site set up. I got to change around like the shopping cart and how it looks and just tweak a few things here and there. And then all I have to do besides that is start posting on Instagram. I have some sample photos that I can use and start reaching out to agents. So there's really not a lot left to do, but I've kind of just let this year go almost
Yeah.
and say like, you know what, I'm gonna hit it next year. And it's like, it's kind of stupid to say, because it's like, why would you waste time like that?
But it's not though, because I've done the exact same thing, and I've done the exact same thing while actually having this business. Um, and I think what I've learned most, we're so young, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy that there's this emphasis on the. I feel like the more you look at the clock running out, the faster your life goes by.
Yeah, that's
From
true.
my experience,
Yeah.
is the more that I watch that time tick, and I'm like, I need to get this done because I'm gonna die,
Yeah.
if I don't get this done. Inevitably, I end up wasting more time and not being more present, and
Right.
missing out on key opportunities in life that actually help me understand life a lot more than what
Yeah.
I was understanding it before.
Yeah.
So I I've done it before. I've literally, like, bro, I've owned this business and took 3 months off one time.
Yeah.
Like, didn't even have a job. Took 3 months off. Like, I worked maybe like 4 times in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like I was just living life. Like, I was just damn near retired.
That's
It was
awesome.
just like anyone that asked me to do something, I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like between jobs, when I left the first company to the one I'm at now, I was
Mhm.
off for 3 months too. And
Yeah.
I was literally doing nothing. And it was amazing. It was
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah.
And I had enough money to do it. I have enough money to do that now. If I want to
Mhm.
take off for a year, I could probably do that right now.
Yeah.
I definitely could.
And I don't understand why people don't do that more.
Right. But
Seriously don't.
I heard something. I've been listening to a ton of podcasts as I've been walking,
Mhm.
and I heard something recently that was, it was explaining laziness, and it's like maybe there's a reason for why you're lazy, because
Mhm.
maybe it's like because you don't actually want to do that. And I think I
I think I've heard that podcast.
it's probably Gary Vee or
Yeah.
something, but I've always wanted to do something with photography
Mhm.
and make it like my full-time thing. But now that I'm kind of putting those steps in place, like it becomes scary. And I'm glad that you brought this up, because this is another thought that I've had recently, is that I spent so much of my life from age 18 to where I am now getting my CPA,
Mhm.
going to college, graduate school, passing the tests, a year of experience, getting licensed.
Mhm.
That was like a 7-year process. And I'm not even doing it anymore.
Yeah.
And that to me was like, maybe I should have thought a little bit more about what I really wanted to do. And so I think that even though I'm doing something now, like I'm in a different department doing recruiting and marketing and stuff, which is
Mhm.
cool. It's more interesting and everything, but I know I don't want to be in corporate America, but even now that I have this idea and this roadmap to do photography, it's like, well, what if you go down that path and then you don't want to be there either? Then what?
Mhm.
And so I feel like in a way that laziness is me kind of thinking about that and hesitating, like, do I really want to do this?
Mhm.
Because I know what it looks like to put in everything that you have into something.
Mhm.
And to know that, like, at the end of the day, I knew I wasn't really going to do it forever,
Mhm.
but it took so much time. So now I'm kind of like, do I keep trying to do it? But it's also like, well, I mean, you're never going to know if you don't do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, you got to
And
try.
and what I've learned is to, like I was talking to you about before we even started, is I'm doing a challenge with just to preface something. I'm doing a challenge where I try my best to not put any doubt on myself or beat myself up for any decisions that I make. And so I kind of implemented that with, I would become extremely obsessed with taking photos and videos. I would do it like all day, every day for like a month. See if the feeling is there, if I'm actually enjoying it. And then I would take off a bunch of time and not do it for months and see if I really missed it, and see if I can if I can find a common balance between the two, where it's like, okay, maybe I can shoot 4 or 5 days a week and not shoot 3 days a week, and that would be like the kind of perfect balance of like, I'm not burning myself out and I'm not running out of ideas and getting mad at not getting the exact look that I want, or just, just turning and burning things just because it's content,
Right.
or do I even miss like picking up the camera? I
Right.
can go months without picking it up, and like I don't really care,
Yeah.
but it ended up not being like that. I do enjoy picking up the camera. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love creating in that way, but it's let me toss this to the side. It's, I think, in regards to finding out what you want to do in life, it's tough that it takes so long, but when you think about the grand scheme of things, like, you have to ask yourself, what is long to you?
Yeah.
Is a year long to you? Because to me, that's nothing. A year is warming up. It's stretching before you even begin to do anything.
Right.
It's so if you want to try something, if you're warming up for a year and you are not feeling it whatsoever,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably not for you,
Yeah. That makes sense.
But a year is such a minute amount of time.
Right.
I mean, you think about 100 of them,
Yeah.
if you make it that long, But it's
Yeah. And I appreciate you saying that, and that's why I love talking to you. And I tell people this all the time. Like, I love talking with Brandon because whenever we talk,
lay down, Papa. Sorry.
whenever we talk, it's like I'm telling you, like, you're already kind of where I want to be doing video photography stuff full time. Whenever I talk to you, it's like, yeah, this is kind of where I'm at. And you're like, dude, I've been there. And like,
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, I'm just feeling like maybe I'll put it off till next year. Like, no, I've
Mhm.
already done that,
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
just like, oh, okay. So I don't
Mhm.
have to figure it all out right now.
Mhm.
It just, as you get older, I think that's just like kind of an inherent thing. Like, I'm turning 28 in December, which in
Mhm.
the scheme of things is I'm still a baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have so much time. It's like, dude, I could start this at 35 if I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's 7 years away.
Yeah. Dude, it's so
And I could still crush it.
it's so crazy. Two things. One, I asked one of my good family friends. We went on a trip to Mexico this year, and I asked them, I was like, do you ever figure it out? Do you ever, like, does life ever feel like you just got to where, like, you feel like settled in, like, oh, I'm comfortable. I got a house, man. I got a wife. My cars are paid off, my blah, blah, blah. And it's always no. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because you might as well die once you hit that glory spot, like, if everything is perfect and everything is
Yeah.
good, that shit is not gonna last long,
No.
So but I think it's beautiful too, because you constantly have something to move forwards to. And I think that with people's Papa, God damn, dude, so itchy. Lay down, son. With I think a lot of people are so misconstrued with their mindset, and they're so close to figuring it out. Even the people who feel like they don't have anything figured out are so close to figuring it out, because it is just a simple switch. It's a lot of people are like, why can't I do this, or why can't I be this, or why isn't this working out for me? It doesn't work out for anyone. It's a game. It's a long game, and it's a game that you figure out a problem. You figure out a single problem, and once you accomplish that problem, there's a million more problems out there that you
Yeah.
just constantly go out and you just keep fixing.
Yeah.
You just go, and if you attack it in a mindset where it's like, I'm not a victim, I'm the mechanic going to fix whatever problems are going on.
Yeah.
It's a different switch in the mind that I'm learning is changing my life, because a lot of the times you just beat yourself up for not being good enough, or not being, a certain way, because you think everyone else has their problems figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they figured out that their problems can be fixed over time with different techniques and different ways of accomplishing that. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's cool.
I heard two things about just mindset and like envisioning. Like, if you think of yourself as like a player in a video game,
Mm-hmm.
and the game is life, and you just level up and just try and keep doing it like
Yep.
that, like that helps a lot. And the other thing I heard, I think it was Joe Rogan, he was saying, if you imagine that there's a crew following you around 24/7, writing a story about your life.
Ooh, that's a good way to put it.
And when you feel like not getting up in the morning and stuff, or you don't want to go work out or whatever, think of that and think like, well, am I going to win or am I going to lose? You know? And I think feeling like people are watching you even when no one's watching you helps a lot.
Yeah. I think being that's what's tough is giving advice like this is so challenging because everyone is so different, and I could only give my perspective on what works for me, because what works for me definitely doesn't work for my girl, definitely doesn't work for my roommate, for you, for whoever. But what I would tell people is figure out, everyone knows them to their core, so figure out what works best for you. Like for me, I know if I wake up really early in the morning and I either hit the gym or start cleaning the house and being productive, immediately the rest of my day follows productivity. If I'm lazy and I like just to relax, like wake up, get a coffee and start watching a show, the rest of my day it follows a trend of laziness. Even if I'm trying to shake it, for some reason I just can't like get that feeling out of my head. I know that works for me. So I wake up early. Even when I want to go back to bed, I literally am like, dude, you're going to regret it. Like future self is telling you this is not a good idea. So,
well, you can always take a nap too.
Yeah, you can always take a nap. You can always do like the thing is it's not that hard. No. Really, like life is not that hard.
No.
It's crazy because the hardest things are the simplest things in life. The hardest thing to do is to wake up early and the first thought in your mind is screaming in your head, go back to bed. And all you have to say is no and get up and move. Move your body.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
Drink a glass of water.
Sounds extremely simple. It's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things to do is go out with your friends and they all order shit food and have fucking a bunch of burgers and fries and crazy shit, which I was so down to eat.
My God.
Dude, I was so down to eat. but you know, and be consistent and be like, no, I'm eating healthy because I'm, you know, trying to put good in and get good out, whatever. Doesn't matter no matter what realm you go into in life, it's the simplest like yes or no answers for very simple decisions, but they're the most complex and complicated things in our entire lives.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah. Simple but not easy.
Simple but not easy.
Yeah. I think and the simpler it is, it's like that is probably the more successful you will be. If you have a simple plan to follow, you'll be more successful. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy at all, though, unfortunately.
That's what
no, it is a good thing, though, because if it's not easy, then it makes you better, right? It makes you, like, you got to grow. So.
And I found recently that limiting the amount, I read this in a book somewhere, but I'm, like, actually starting to implement it and learn it, is, like, the less decisions that you have to make in life, the easier your life becomes.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs said that. Okay.
I don't know if he said that, but he wore the same thing every day because it was less mental capacity they had to put into deciding what he was going to wear that day.
I might have heard it on Rogan. Someone say that on Rogan. But it's so crazy because I actually started seeing it. Like, it hits different when you actually start seeing stuff like this. But I literally was like, okay, like, I set my alarm 5 a.m. every day, and I'm waking up at that time. There is no option. There is no choice. Like, that is what I'm doing. It's a simple, easy choice. I don't have the option to go to bed. I don't have the option to do anything else. I'm waking up at 5. I'm getting up.
Yeah.
I know exactly to a degree of like what clothes I'm putting on, so that like I'm not like sitting there like half asleep, like swiping and thinking about going back to bed. Like, nope, I'm like in motion, grabbing the clothes, putting them on, starting the coffee, and then I'm out the door.
Yeah.
You know?
When I was training for Hood to Coast, if I was going to run in the morning, I would just put out all my running clothes the night before. So then you wake up, you just put them on. The best thing you can probably do is, one, put your phone
Sleep
across.
in your clothes.
Probably,
Wake
yeah.
up. Let's
Actually,
grind.
yeah. Next level.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. But
Those
putting
people are
your phone on
psychos,
the
man.
other side of the room, so you have to get out of bed to
Mm-hmm.
get the alarm, and then drink a glass of water. If you drink a glass of water, I promise you will
My
not go
buddy
back to
Gabe,
sleep.
my buddy Gabe always
Promise.
told me that. Shout
Always.
out Gabe, man. Yeah, my buddy Gabe always told me that. He said if you ever have trouble waking up in the morning, like pour a tall glass of water and just chug it, and you'll be wide awake right after that.
It's true.
And I haven't done it. I don't usually do that,
Try it
but
tomorrow.
I need to do that.
Try
I need
it
to do
tomorrow,
that.
dude.
Yeah.
You'll feel a lot better.
It's definitely been a lot easier once your body gets acclimated to it. It's not really a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I want to get to I can't really do this just having a corporate job because you have things that you got to wake up for sometimes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm not a morning person. And so because I like to stay up late, I still have to have an alarm.
Mhm.
But if I was to go to bed earlier, like say, like sometimes if I go to bed around 10 o'clock, I'll still set the alarm for 8, but I will naturally wake up around 7 because that's 9 hours of sleep, which
Mhm.
is, how many is that? 6 sleep cycles.
I need to learn those sleep cycles because
It's an hour and a half is a full sleep cycle.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Because I was always trying to wake up at 6 a.m. And I would go to bed early, and for some reason 6 a.m. I would wake up in mid dream and just be like deadly tired and
Yeah.
just go right back to bed. Like
did you
if
set an alarm?
I would set an alarm, but I would hit
Yeah.
it as soon as I hit it. I would just pass out and go right back to sleep.
Yeah,
So.
you're probably in REM sleep.
And 5 is perfect. I literally wake up 5 like
Yeah.
just like up.
So what I do is if I'm trying to go to bed, so let's say it's like 11 o'clock and I want to wake up at 6:30. So that would be 7.5 hours of sleep, 5
Mhm.
sleep cycles. I'll try and go to bed around like 10:45, give myself 20 minutes to fall asleep, and then that's the perfect amount of time. And if you get in that rhythm and you do it for a few days in a row, it's
Mhm.
like clockwork. You just got to get it going for a little bit. So that's what I would say for you, especially because you don't always have a set schedule.
Mhm.
That would be the perfect time to, if you want to wake up at 5 every day, go to bed at, 10:30.
Which is
Hour
usually
and a
what I
half,
do.
6.5. So
Yeah.
if you go to bed at 10:30, that'll give you half an hour to fall asleep. You'll get a perfect 6 hours of sleep and just be ready to go.
Oh, that's what I've been doing, man.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing in the world that once you attain like that sort of freedom to kind of do whatever you want, that's probably like, I think if you can master that, like what you do with that much, you realize how much time is in the day. Like
So much
when I was working a job, restaurant job, and like you just wake up and like, hit the gym, go to the grocery store, clean the house, and then you're already ready, have to get ready for work, go to work your whole shift, get off, hang out with friends, and then go to bed and wake up, do it all over again. Your days are like freaking moving, man. A lot of people's days are just moving.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always saying like, I don't have enough time. And then when you actually have that much time, dude, the world is so slow.
Yeah.
And you start, it's so crazy. Hearing all these successful people talk about self-discipline is like the key to being, hitting that next level. It's the biggest challenge that I've ever faced in my life, I think, is being self-disciplined with your own schedule and knowing that like day in and day out, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, to a degree. Depends on how much is in that bank account. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially when there's no one coming, there's no one coming to tell you what to do. You're a full-fledged adult. You can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that is hard, It's like when you have to set your own schedule and figure out, okay, how am I going to be productive today? It's kind of, when you're working a 9 to 5, it's predetermined for you. I got to wake up, I got to shower, I got to put clothes on, I got to go to work, I got to eat lunch, I got to come home, I got to do all these things. But like
And
you were
it's
saying,
so nice sometimes too.
sometimes, yeah. But, but you think about getting 40 hours a week back in your life and like how much time that is. Like, I think about like days when it was summertime during college and I'm home and I stay up super late 2, 3 in the morning, wake up at, 12, eat some food, hang out all day, doing absolutely nothing. And it's still only like 3 o'clock. And
Yeah.
you're like, I could still have a totally productive day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could quit right now.
Yeah.
I totally could.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I'm just like, that's part of why I feel like I need to, that laziness part of it is like, dude, when you get off, just do it for a couple hours. Like you get off, and they just like our hours just got reduced, so we were doing 50-hour weeks, and I was still trying to do all this stuff. Now we're at 40, so it's like, I guess it's 42 and a half, I guess, if you count the half-hour lunch or whatever. Anyways, I got like 10 hours a week back in my life, where it's like, you get off at 4:30, you have so much time, and it's like, what do you want to do with it? You don't even have to use all 6 of those hours before you go to sleep every single day. Start with one. What can I do for an hour? And just start working on it. And a lot of times I feel like just starting is the hardest part, because a lot of times if I like open up my laptop and I start looking through photos, I look up and like 3 hours have gone by, and I've either just started going through and picking which ones I want to edit, or just deleting a bunch of ones that I don't, and then finally deciding on one, and then it takes you like 20 minutes to edit it, and you're like, post it, but it's like you just lose track of time.
Yeah.
And those are the things that you want to put time into, where you don't feel like you're wasting time. You're just enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an aspect of life that I'm learning the most, I think, right now, is like how to not beat myself, because time is just terrifying. When you have that much of it, you look, especially with social media, for me, in our genre, actually, it's the people who are utilizing their time the best from what it looks like online, the Peter McKinnons, the Matt Hipoyas, and just whoever, is out there just crushing it and doing, these crazy videos. It makes me, it almost sets me backwards, seeing that, like, oh, they have time and they're out there like making BMX videos with a bunch of people, and now they're on jet skis, and now they're on, with the newest GoPro, and then they're flying FPVs, and then they're testing out the new gimbal like on a racetrack, and then they're just constantly moving and doing these things. And that's something that I've come to realize, is that like yes, that is some things that I want to do, 100%. Like like I said, I love doing a bunch of different stuff. I love filming, and that shit is badass, man. But also, like, I don't know what goes behind the scenes on that. Like,
Right.
I do know what goes into creating, and I know it takes a ridiculous amount of work. I know that I have a relationship that I really care about and that I want to put a lot of effort and energy into, and I'm not saying that they don't put that into theirs, but I'm saying that I know with the amount of work and detail and focus that I put into my work, it cuts out from the time that I spend with the people that I care about. So if I am putting 90% of my life into videos, then that's only 10% to friends and family and things like that. So
it's a trade-off for sure.
It's so tricky.
Yeah. I think what we were talking about though earlier was just like perception versus reality. And like, they're doing these crazy videos and stuff, but like, how much time does it actually take? And they have people that work for them that edit a lot of these videos too. So that's another factor, is like they've been doing this for years by themselves, right? Probably investing a ton of time into it. But you get to a certain point where you can hire people to do those things. And that's like the 4-hour work week, like outsource everything that's not your main thing. And even sometimes if it is your main thing, like when I do the real estate stuff, I'm going to outsource all the editing. I don't want to edit houses all day. I want to edit landscapes and stuff like that. So that's something to think about it too. Is like, it's not always as glamorous as it seems, even though it's like this sick cut video, 14 minutes long, dirt bikes and GoPros. It's like, but like, what are they doing with the rest of the time? Like, that's not all that they do.
Right? And that's all that you see they do. And what I've noticed too is like even the people that I admire most online, a lot of the times I don't like unless it really blows me away, I don't like see um I don't spend a lot of time like admiring their work and looking at it and seeing like exactly what they're doing, because a lot of the times they're cranking out so much content that it is not this crazy extravagant big, movie that they're putting out where it has all these details and crazy effects or things like that. It's just they're like, we're sending you a GoPro, do a review about it, and they're just throwing basic clips together and they have a following, so it's good, and
Right.
a lot of the times I'm just like flicking through them, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
Like when all the new Apple stuff came out, I watched like everyone's reviews
dude,
because I'm like,
everyone had
I mean, I kind of geek out on that stuff, so it's like that is fun for me. But
Yeah.
have you heard of Mark Rober?
No, I don't think so.
So he's a YouTube guy that does all these science experiments, but he has like basically broken the YouTube algorithm because he gets like 20 million views on every video, but they're like 15 to 20 minutes long. But it's like it keeps your attention the whole time, so people watch the whole thing, and that's how he makes so much money, is all the ad revenue, because they're long videos and people are watching through the ads. But he spends months on some of these projects, just putting together these 20-minute YouTube videos that get millions of views, and it funds everything for him. He's one of the most successful YouTubers out there.
Jeez, that's crazy.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, it's fascinating finding people that actually do that kind of work. I love seeing people who actually like take the time to produce not just like quick content, because that is the day and the digital age that we live in is like just put out some just put out some quick stuff that'll just feed the dopamine craze, but like actually mean what they're putting out and want people to see how much effort went into it. It's cool to see that. That's still, I mean, that'll always be around, but it's cool. It's definitely cool to see that, especially online on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
How's it being married?
wow, that's deep.
That's a loaded question.
That is a very loaded question. No, it's awesome, man. It's so crazy. So I'll give a little bit of depth. I haven't really talked to anyone about this. My family knows, obviously they were there, but me and my girl got engaged probably like 2 years ago, and COVID hit, and then my family's all in Arizona, hers is in Washington, and we were just kind of having trouble putting the pieces together, and there was just a lot going on, so we just kind of took a break from it, and so I decided randomly to throw a surprise wedding for her and plan it all behind her back, and I set it all up, and my family flew out. We surprised her, went to Cannon Beach and got married, and it was one of the coolest, like, obviously getting married is one of the coolest like memories that you can create. Super special, but it's such an odd feeling, because it is attaining something, like it's attaining like a legitimate status, but when you are so connected to someone for so long, something like that, like a next day feeling, doesn't feel different in a way. Like, the experience made me love her more, but the amount of love, like, it didn't like do this whole rapid switch of like now we're in love forever, it's this sort of thing. Like,
I hope not.
no, like, like,
Yeah.
I see her for who she is now,
Yeah.
my wife. Nah, she's always been there. She's always been an amazing person. She's always supported me in everything I do. She's always trying to help me out. She's always freaking not trying to help me out too. I'm like, help me out with this idea. She's like, am I going to be in the camera?
Yeah.
And then I'm really like, well, I need you. I'm filming.
Kind of.
She's like, no. Like, fuck. So she's, I don't know. It's so cool. Like, it's just more cool than anything. It's like, just share, like we were saying, like that bond of like sharing an experience with someone. It's just sharing a really amazing experience with someone that is just your best friend, you know?
Yeah.
So it's, in that way, it's different. But in life ways, it's like, we've always just been so cool. Just had such a tight friendship, and we just bullshit all the time and hang out. And
Nothing's changed.
nothing's really changed, man.
Yeah.
Still think she's
That's good. I just had to ask. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
It just happened.
It's definitely different.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed the way that we did it, though. We did an elopement on the beach, and I film weddings for a living, and it's just way more intimate to me personally than an actual wedding.
Yeah.
Because it is just, we did only have just family there, and that's, I don't know. It just hits different. It just hits a little bit different. But
It's cool.
you got any ladies in the life?
Right now, yeah.
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 Hey, look at you. How
Yeah.
many?
Just one.
I'm just kidding.
Valid question.
Yeah.
Because that's how I was doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Dating, seeing multiple people, and just kind of having fun, doing my thing.
Yeah.
But after a while, it gets to be like, I don't know. You just feel like you're putting in not necessarily effort, but time with people that maybe you keep seeing, maybe you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was trying to just be more intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it the other day. It was like, are you seeing other people question? Because it wasn't really about that. It was like, just got tested, I'm good.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, cool, me too.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, well, I mean, if you're going to be hooking up with other people, let me know. And I was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
Just you.
Yeah.
And
Isn't that such a weird phase?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But I also just feel like you can't control what anyone else is going to do. So if she's out there doing whatever, like, I'd hope she would tell me, but it's not really about that for me right now. It's about just putting in effort and trying to see, like, do I actually like this person? Like, could I see myself with this person? And I started to think about that a lot more. I started writing down. I have a note on my phone of, like, traits that I want and someone that I want to be with.
Yeah.
And I started writing down those things. I was writing down things about her, like, earlier when I was walking, like, what do I like about her? What I don't like about her? You know, like, should this keep going? And I mean, I'm not going to see her for 3 weeks, so I'm going to have a lot of time to think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If I don't miss her, man,
Yeah. But it's
seen it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I hope you had fun.
Yeah. No, it's been good though. I mean, we've seen each other 6 times now, which is a lot longer than it usually lasts. For me at least. In the recent past, but it's been good. We're very similar in a lot of ways.
It's because you can't keep them around because you keep hitting a cross move on them. That little step back, and their ankle just snaps.
In your grip.
It was good, bro. Just wham on her, bro.
Like, all right, I'm
Second
done.
date, bro.
No, man.
How'd that feel?
So funny. No, I
man.
mean, but it's like we're very similar. Like, we've cooked some food together, which has actually been fun. I don't typically do that with people. Because for myself, I cook the most efficient, least effort meals that I can think of. It's like ground turkey, salsa, and guacamole every single day.
That'll change over time.
Eggs and turkey. I eat a lot of turkey. But like we've cooked some like really good food together and had a lot of fun doing it. And that's like a bonding thing that you can do with people. But the thing that I noticed, because I'm pretty clean person, a little OCD, neat freak, a little bit.
Yeah.
And she is though too. And I noticed that because when we were done cooking the food, we cleaned everything and put it all away before we even started eating. And I was like, oh, we're similar.
Dude, that's so crazy. It's so stupid, but one of the times that it was a really defining moment in like our relationship, because we were in that we were a little bit beyond that phase, but like it was still to where it's like, all right, we're starting to see each other all the time now. Like, when I start seeing her more, am I gonna like, fade
Mm-hmm.
away, or is this gonna keep going? And
Yeah.
I was at her place, and I was helping her clean, and I was vacuuming, and you know how you like you're supposed to vacuum like up, and then you come back, and then you like go up, and you create those like perfect little like triangles, you know?
Yeah.
She like turns the corner and like sees the like triangles,
Yeah.
and she was like just blown away because um she was like, you do them just like me.
Oh my
And
god.
like and like we just
Yeah.
had like a complete moment like right there, like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
this might work, you know?
Yeah.
Our triangles match up. It was
That's
so
funny.
weird. It was such a
Yeah.
weird moment.
I mean, I've had stuff like that though too, where I have not like there has been a similarity like that. Like I love to quote SpongeBob or like Will Ferrell movies. Those are like my two.
That's the shit, man.
I met a girl in college, played ball, and we met just like playing pickup together, and she could quote movies like better than me, and I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
oh my god, this means something, you know? And so I asked her out, and we dated for like a week, and then she ghosted me, and it didn't work out. And so it's like I take all that stuff with a grain of salt
Yeah.
because I know it can go both ways. Just because like you guys are similar in something doesn't mean like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is it,
Yeah, yeah,
or anything
yeah.
like that. So we do have some similarities, but I'm also like writing down all these things and just thinking about it, like, and then trying to think like, are these deal breakers for me? Am I thinking about something too much, or is this actually like annoying to me? Where it would like 5 years down the road and be like, God,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
really get upset about it.
Yeah. It's,
Um,
dude, relationships I
yeah.
think are one of the weirdest things on planet Earth.
So
Like
weird.
trying to because people adapt,
Yeah.
and also people have tendencies that they've like had since they were raised that like it's so weird because like you'll be in that honeymoon phase where like everything is just sunshine and rainbows, and you just don't see anything that would like actually annoy you
Right.
until like one day you're like, okay, like I've seen it a million times, but for some reason that is annoying the fuck out of me today. You know,
Yeah.
like what you just did is like, I hate that. You
Yeah.
know, it's just, and then it like you start analyzing everything, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, this whole time like
Yeah.
I didn't realize it, but
That happened with someone that
I
I
don't
was,
like
yeah.
that. You know,
That happened with
so
someone that I
weird.
was with for like 2-3 months, like during early part of COVID.
Mhm.
And it was like, I was like, no, I'm going to keep going and see if it's just in my head. But after a while, it's just like, dude, you're complaining all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I had to tell her, and then we kind of broke it off.
Mhm.
And it was like, but with this, I'm like, I think one of the best things that we do is just communicate and just be super open about things.
Mhm.
Because we're all adults, and you have to, communication is so important, And so we were talking about,
It's simple, but it's the hardest thing to do, man.
yeah, because you don't want to hurt people's feelings and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But I've always been a
What-
straight shooter, so
Yeah.
it's like, if there's something on my mind, I gotta tell you. I'm gonna tell you, and not trying to be mean or anything. But like, if there's something I gotta say, I gotta say it, and I have to say it like how I want to say it,
Yeah.
without regard to how it's gonna make you feel. Sometimes
Mhm.
I'm gonna do my best. I'm not gonna be an asshole, but yeah. So there was. I was like, so what are you doing this weekend? And this is after date 3 or 4, I want to say. I was like, what are you doing this weekend? She's like, oh, I'm going to hang out with my friend. I've known him for like 8 years and stuff. And I was like, oh, cool. Sounds good. And in my mind, I have a little bit of trust issues just because there was a girl that I dated in college. The last girl I dated was like 8 years ago. It's been a long time, but she had a boyfriend from high school. Dated for like 4 years, came to college, met me, fell in love, started dating for like 6 months, and I always had a suspicion about it. And I was like, I don't like you being around him. That's just, I don't trust it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that suspicion was confirmed after we broke up because I found out that they had hooked up, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I was right.
Yeah.
And And that's a shitty feeling because you never want to like believe that that's going to happen. But so that's the thing. So I just told her, I was like, hey, I'm not saying that anything's happening here. And I know like you don't see him in that way. And you've made that very clear to me. I'm just telling you what happens in my mind when I hear something like that. Because she doesn't like the guy. She doesn't find him attractive. But he has told her that he was like in love with her.
Yeah.
So for me as a guy, knowing how guys work, I was like, that's not going to fly. And
It never does fly.
and she was like, well, I just like to have him as a friend, and, and stuff like that. I was like, it's totally cool. I get it. But at the same time, like, what is that worth? Like when we all don't really have a lot of time, like who do you choose to spend it with? Like if you like really value that friendship, like cool. Like I'm not going to ask you about it again. I'm just telling you like how it makes me feel.
Yep.
And I don't really worry about that stuff because, like, I know my worth as a person. And even if she did decide to go and do that, I'm like, all right, whatever, move on,
Yeah.
But you also want to get to the point where, like, if that were to happen, not that it would, like, crush you because no one wants to be crushed, but, like, you want to be able to know that that won't happen with someone,
Yeah.
right? And you never know 100%.
You never know 100%, but you should. After being with my girl, like, we both know 100% that it's not gonna happen. It's just it. Someone would have to be drugged at some point, because
Yeah.
it's just we looked at each other and like we just made that like almost like a deal. Like we're not doing this shit.
Right.
Like I'll let you know before I end up doing something like this. So
Yeah. And it's like, I just don't get how people get into relationships like that and then are just like kind of go behind people's backs and it starts all these scandals and stuff like that. It's like, if you don't like, and it's tough because it's like, you probably still want to be with that person, but you also want something more in the moment. But it's like, what do you want more?
yeah, but it really is just a temporary feeling because that feeling is being expressed because it was so recent, because yesterday you were just with them, but you just found out that they just fucked your best friend. So now, of course, you still have the feelings from yesterday,
Yeah.
but you're just mad because you have those feelings from yesterday
Yeah.
that are playing today,
Yeah.
in that sort of, hopefully they didn't fuck your best friend, dude. I'd be so mad. Dane, I'd beat your ass. Oh my God. No, it's relationships are such a crazy thing, man. It's so cool when you actually in any relationship. Like I'm learning that like building it with friends is the same way and not the same way, but in so many ways the same way that you build it with girls. We're homies, bro. Oh, bro. No, it's
We're gonna kiss right now?
Yeah, you trying to fucking Mac, bro? Bro, we're tight. No, it's they're so similar just because like after all the fucking not charade, but like after all the fucking the stars and explosions go off, like
Yeah.
you're left with someone who like you need to trust, like with your life, with your mental health, with your stability, with your happiness, with your progress, with everything. And those kind of people are who you want as your friends, also who you want as the person next to you when you're like trying to come home and analyze the day and make decisions. And it's there's just an extra level to it. You just get naked at night. But with
Minor
the homies,
details.
bro, dude, it's in the fucking LA gym showers, dude. Got me up, bro. No,
Oh,
it's,
God. Yeah.
it's cool, man. It's
Yeah.
cool.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah. And part of me is like, it's in my head, it's like, are you trying to make this work really hard because it's the first time that you've tried to be intentional with someone and maybe you don't actually want to be with them, but you just want to try and you hope that it works? Do you... And I don't know. It was weird. Like, my sister called me when I was with her because she was going through some shit. And so I was talking to her, and she's like, "How's it going over there?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm like what I'm doing or if it's going well."
Yeah.
Like, because there are like a lot of parts of it that do go well. It is just there's certain things that I think of where it's like it's just little things, and they're not really big, but they're those things that kind of bug you. But you're like, is that a deal breaker?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
not?
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Is this something that will actually affect our relationship in the long
Yeah.
run? You know,
But I mean, she's awesome. She's great. So yeah,
but
stay tuned.
It's stay tuned. Is it is it? Have you found yourself? Because what I find in a lot of people that really struggle with taking their relationship to that next step beyond it is that mental aspect of like making sure all the boxes are checked and not being essentially not being present in the moment, like on the third date, like we should be heading in this direction, but it feels like it's kind of going in this direction, and I planned in my head like as before this all happened that it was supposed to go here.
Yeah.
And now that it's not, are we still, do I even like this guy or girl, or is this some like, are we going down the right path, instead of just being like loose and free and like, you're not marrying the chick, like you're not marrying her tomorrow, like just relax and just like hang out like friends, because
Yeah.
if you do hang out like friends and it feels more like a friendship than a relationship, then at least you're like having a good time and knowing that like, hey, like,
Yeah.
I think you're chill. Or like you're just a bitch or whatever,
Yeah.
Don't say that. Respect women.
Yeah.
But, either way it goes, like I kicked it with you. I gave you me,
Yeah.
and I'm just not feeling it. Or I kicked it with you. I gave you me, and dude, we're vibing. Let's see where this goes. Is that something that like you struggle with? Because you said you're kind of like checking off the boxes with.
Yeah, and that's why I was telling my buddy, I was hanging out with him, and he was asking me how it was going, and I think this was after date like 2 or 3 maybe, and I just told him like, I feel like I'm trying to think of questions to ask her when I'm with her instead of like
Flowing.
yeah, and part of that is because like you're maybe trying to check the boxes, but also like one of the things that I wanted to do was wait, because I asked her, I was like, do you feel like when it gets physical sometimes that kind of ruins the chance of a relationship? Because I think in a lot of ways it does. For me, at least in my experience, that usually isn't successful. So we waited until yesterday, basically.
Hey.
But it was like, I mean, we were still like wanting to do it, obviously, but it was like we waited, but I didn't feel like it was waiting because we're like trying to become best friends or like really get to know each other better. It was just like
Waiting as like a test run or like a trial.
Yeah.
To see if it would make you feel any different.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if it did, honestly. And I don't even know if that's enough time, though, right? Because it was like maybe a month.
Yeah, but if there isn't some sort of like, was there like an anticipation for like, getting to that point? Like you're like almost looking forward to getting to that point, not just because you're like being a fucking horn dog, but like you're actually trying to connect with like, someone in that way, like finally after like a month, like we waited and it's like that time is just like there's so much friction going on that it's like it's bound to happen anytime now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know
I
if
feel
those
like
two things are very
it,
different,
Yeah.
like being a horn dog versus like the friction.
They're so close.
Yeah.
They're so close in comparison.
I see what you're trying to say, but I don't know if it was probably a combination of both. Like we were definitely like wanting to and stuff, and it was good. It was great. It was just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, do you hear like the way that I'm saying it?
Yeah, yeah,
It's not like, yeah, it was the best.
yeah, yeah.
It's like
It's the best.
it's the best. Like I don't know. There's just not that
Yep.
spark. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Which happens so much more. I mean, there's God, there's so many people on planet Earth.
Yeah.
You know, and like trying to find that one that you're just like, honed in on. Like,
Right.
I feel like that was more is a more insane feeling than actually getting married. Like when you actually realize that it feels like that.
Yeah.
Um,
So my buddy that I was talking to about this, he just moved up here to St. John's, which is cool.
Okay.
With one of our friends from high school, they're dating, been dating almost a year now, and I had like no idea. And now they're here, and I went and hung out with him, and then I saw her too when we went back to their place. But he was saying, he's like, I'm calling it. I think she's the one. And I was like, see, like that's like,
Yeah.
it's not like when but like you
Yeah.
just kind of have a feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's weird to think about, but I feel like there was a girl that I was seeing before her that I was having like I told her, like when we left, I was like, I have such a good time when I'm with you. We do nothing but laugh our asses off the entire time. And that is what I love. That's how I feel like it should be.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't going to see her for like a week or so. And I was like, all right, well, maybe next week. And she was like, oh, I'm actually going to stop seeing other people and just see this one guy. And I was like, damn. So I was telling my buddy about this. He was like, dude, blow it up. Just say what you need to say.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey.
Say what you need
Yeah.
to say.
But it was like, he's like, that's what I do. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I just kind of let it float out into the universe and hope that it comes back. But that's not what I was really worried about. It's like, damn, I wonder if I should have tried to pursue that a little bit more, because it's like, I felt like there 2, maybe 3 dates with her, whereas I've had 6 with this girl. And it's like, I still feel like maybe there's more of a connection there than there is here.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's like, I don't know, it's the vibes.
Yeah, but the amount of dates doesn't rationalize the emotion,
Yeah, totally.
It's I mean, numbers are numbers, you can go have lunch with the same dude fucking 5 times. Doesn't mean he's like a piece of shit coworker that you don't really want to hang out with,
Right.
It's tough, like, making those decisions, but at the end of the day, when you do have a feeling like that, when you do have something that is speaking to you in that way, even if it does not, in the long run, even if it doesn't make it, which you'll never know, until that time comes, bro, I'm telling you right now, you do not want to miss up. You do not want to pass up on that, because you don't know the possibilities of what could transpire from there. And
like finding that feeling
again,
yeah,
could possibly
never happen again.
Never happen. And if it did happen, you're gonna look back and be like, I've went on 60 dates since that date, and that was the last time I felt that feeling.
Yeah,
Is a possibility,
It's
and
true.
that is something that you either A, are gonna have to live with, or B, can look back and say, I actually did something about that. I said what I made my peace, and I said what I said, and if she doesn't want to go with it, she doesn't want to, but at least I said what I said.
Yeah.
And you should do it.
Just fuck it up.
Dude, you should.
Just see if she's still.
I'll do a bad, like, guitar strum in the background. Yeah. And I'll, like, say her name and just sing it. Just, like, right behind it. Yeah.
I can't disagree, honestly. And I think I feel bad because I know I'm not going to see her before these 3 weeks are up, and I don't know how much we're going to talk, over that time. But
Yeah.
I feel like she's going to get back and still want to hang out. And that's why it's kind of tough, because you're not like you're wasting someone's time, but also just like, well, hey, I've had time to think about this. Like, we haven't seen each other. And I feel like when I'm with her, like it's always easier when you're with someone and
Yeah.
you're having a good time, because it's not like I'm not having a good time with her.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like we are, like we're making food together, drinking, watching football and stuff, and just
Mm-hmm.
hanging out and stuff. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's not like that
Yeah.
that I was talking about earlier. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess I mean I got 3 weeks to think about it, so that'll probably tell.
yeah. But if that kind of feeling is still there, then you hit me up. You hit me up.
For the other girl,
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you let me know, and we'll get something
go
going, man.
serenade her.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll sing the Encarnacion.
Encarnacion.
Ah, I love that shit, man. That'll steal her. That'll steal her from any man. That's fucking awesome.
Oh man.
Um,
Yeah,
That's Tricky Avenue, though.
things to think about.
Yeah, things to
But
think
I
about.
do think it is good though. That is one thing that I figured out from any of this is like it's good to slow down and really get to know someone.
Yeah.
Go one at a time. You don't have to date everyone all at the same time.
It's so crazy thinking that people. I mean, divorce is such a real common thing.
Yeah.
That happens, and happens a lot, and just thinking that you could just get with the wrong person at any time and could possibly be having those thoughts in your head. I mean, because even if you're in a completely perfect relationship that is good in and out, you're always gonna think like, is this, can I do this forever? Is
Grass is always greener.
yeah, is this the right avenue that I'm going down? Is, all these things are going to fire off in your head regardless, because you're about to, take it to the next level. But
Well, and you think about all the stuff that you're giving up on and
yeah,
all the memories that you have with other people and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
yeah,
that are
all the
just like-
experiences and all those things. But if the positives outweigh the negatives, and hopefully it'll be by a huge amount,
Yeah, I think that's kind of it. Because like right now, it's like it kind of feels like it's teetering one way or the
Yeah.
other. But if it's like,
yeah, it should be like, like, would I rather ditch the girl I'm with right now and like go hang out with the boys and go try and get laid, or would I rather bring her out with the boys and just fucking party and like hang out all as friends,
Yeah.
and like she's willing to like be a part of the experience and
yeah,
do all that stuff. It's
yeah, I know the answer to that
yeah,
question.
yeah, you know what I mean? It's like it just hits different when it's the right person.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, love is tricky, man.
Yeah.
Love is very tricky.
What else
I
you
was
got
looking
up
at
there?
it. I was looking at. We hit a lot of those, honestly. I put a little whiteboard up there that was like podcast topics. So,
Yeah.
I honestly, I was just like, we were talking about Hood to Coast, prepping for it, other activities
Oh, you
we
put it up
like.
there. Nice.
Let's see, personal development, man, self-doubt, accountability, creating. I mean, we went over like all those.
Self-doubt.
Self-doubt's fucking tough, man.
That's a big one.
That one's like, I think everyone, no matter who you are, is like, even fucking Elon Musk is at the top. Like,
Yeah.
maybe not him. He just has like, I'm just doing it, just waking up and fucking getting it done. But
Yeah.
that's something that I'm like putting like a super large amount of my focus on, is like not having self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And it changes the whole perspective of your day and your life when you make a decision and don't doubt that decision. Like, you literally tell yourself that you're not allowed to have doubt for that decision,
Mm-hmm.
and then you let it play out without any anxiety or any
Yeah.
emotion towards it. And it's so crazy where it'll take you. It'll just like, you go, okay, usually I would have self-doubt about doing this, which is probably a good indicator that like I don't necessarily like want to be doing this. It's just like the easy kind of road out. And so it brings so much clarity to what you actually do want to do.
Yeah.
And then it gives you motivation to do the things that you say you want to do. So,
Right.
it's cool. I've been
Yeah.
like doing way more lately. I feel
That's
like
good. Yeah, I've been thinking lately just about not self-doubt, but like just getting rid of everything. Just
yeah,
super like sell a ton of stuff.
dude, I went through my house like 6 months
Yeah.
ago, and it's so funny. I like looked at all my shit, and I had like nothing. It's all camera gear.
Yeah.
My girl has absolutely everything. She's bought like all the home decor,
Yeah.
all like the trinkets
Yeah.
here and there, all her Goodwill shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, what can I sell? Like, I need to be a minimalist, and
Yeah.
there was like nothing.
Yeah.
I literally was like, I'll sell my shoes, and I did, and like I made like $40, and I was like, all right, I guess that's sick, dude. I'm minimal.
Minimal
So,
as fuck.
yeah, dude. I'm the worst at doing things for myself. Like buying clothes, buying shoes, buying like. I'll do experiences with people, but I won't ever do experiences by myself, or like go and like
Same
spoil
way.
myself in a certain way.
Yeah.
I never do that shit. I
Yeah.
always beat myself up on it.
I do it like very rarely because I have like I'm very like the personal finance thing is like pretty on lock. Like the one thing I spend probably too much money on is just food, like eating out in general.
Oh yes, you do. Since I met you, it's food man right here.
Yeah. Anyways,
Food's good.
but everything else, it's like I really like scrutinize
Mm-hmm.
and like really think about it before I buy it. Like, is this just going to be some other thing that sits on the shelf after a while? And then it's like, I'm selling my GoPro. Do you need a GoPro, by the way?
Okay, what number is
Hero
it?
9 Black.
Ooh, shit! I might need a Hero 9 Black.
The Hero 10 Black just came out.
Dude, how much is it?
So, retail or how much I'm selling it for?
How much are you selling it for?
300.
Ooh,
It's got a chest mount.
I'll make you a bargain. Drop the chest mount. I got that right there. It's a massage gun, dude, and it retails for $260.
You trying to barter it?
Dude, I'm trying to borrow. I'll give you the difference, dude. I'll give you.
I have a massage gun,
Dude, but
actually.
do you have that one? That one's the V2. That one just came out.
Ooh, the Normatec?
No, it's the
Theragun?
no, it's the Kawa. Please flip that fucking thing around. It's that one. Yeah. Real shit though. Oh, Jaku?
Oh, Jaku. Yeah.
Jaku? Oh, so check this out. You hit me up to come over here.
Yeah.
I was at Goodwill,
Yeah.
and I found this fucking thing at Goodwill for $14.
No shit.
Bro, I checked it at the store.
You're gonna sell it to me for $260.
I was fucking with you. No, but I put it on OfferUp. Dude, this shit retails for $260.
Oh yeah.
I got it for $14.
Sick.
So I'm flipping it. And also
Yeah,
I
you should.
found a bunch of these vintage
Yeah.
film cameras.
Dude, Gary V, man, start garage sailing.
Dude, I'm telling you, every Saturday and Sunday I'm going out there, man.
How the fuck does this thing work?
That little top piece right there.
This?
Yeah, you hold it down 3 times, or like hold it for like 3 seconds.
Oh.
Oh yeah, and you put the little ball in there.
Oh.
It gets some serious vibration going on, dude.
Okay. Yeah, this is mine sounds like a jackhammer. It's like a power tool.
Yeah, I'm good on that, dude. I'm good on that. That thing
But I got it
beats
for like
the-
$200.
That thing beats the shit out of me. Yeah, but I've been finding some straight up fire at Goodwill lately.
This is it.
It's been amazing. Yeah. Yep, get in there.
Oh yeah,
Rub
baby.
that chest. Get on that nipple. Look at it. It's got the V clamp. It's got the claw. So you can just get in those tough to reach areas.
Okay, just right on your
I would,
arm.
dude. I would literally, yeah, just fucking jackhammering. I'm pretty sure I'll injure myself with that because I'm just an
I
extreme
gotta
person.
hear how loud this. Oh, that's not loud at all.
It's not loud at all. See?
Wow.
It's noise canceling. Are you sure you don't want that? Trade that GoPro, dude. Get rid of your
Well, now
fucking
that I know
piece
how
of
much-
shit little jackhammer.
Now
Get
that
you
I
a
know how
quiet
much
one.
it's actually worth, $50.
Hey, just because I got a steal on that bitch, dude. Honestly, though,
That's sick.
I fucking I love finding stuff like this,
Yeah.
man. It's one of my favorite things to do. Is
Start
just
garage sailing, man.
garage sailing, find
Or
some
just
good
like
shit.
go to
It's great quality.
what is it? What do you say? Like go.
Good stuff.
But it's you can't sell it because it's the same color as the chair.
Dude, that's bullshit. No, when I'm hitting fucking.
But the what does he say? Like you go to like you can find like there are a lot of shoe deals that he finds and stuff, but it's like you go to like Ross or Kmart or stuff like that, and you can just find stuff for like nothing that you
Bro,
can
I
flip.
got fucking pissed the other day because I went fishing with my boy and I was wearing like a bucket hat and it was too big, so I decided to get a hat at Fred Meyer, and obviously Fred Meyer fucking rips you. So I bought a fucking Champion hat.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously fucking Fred Meyer's stupid. I bought a Champion hat. I was like, oh, this is a nice hat. I like this hat.
Yeah.
And I went to fucking Ross the next day.
Yeah.
And they had that hat for like, the hat was like $27 after tax or something like that. Piece of shit fucking dad hat, excuse me.
At Ross or Freddy's?
No, at Freddy's. But I was like
But
already
at Ross,
there.
it was like $5.
It was like fucking $4.
Yeah.
And I was like, God.
These motherfuckers.
Yeah, and I threw away the receipt as soon as I walked out of that Fred Meyer.
Of course.
Oh man, that pisses me off.
Yeah.
When I know it's not worth that much.
Yeah. The
I'm such cheap. I'm such a cheap.
Yeah. I'm frugal. Like I will spend a lot of money on stuff that I care about, or like when I crashed my drone, it was $500 to fix it. Didn't even think about it.
Dude, I don't blink ever with any of this
Any
stuff.
of the camera
like
stuff.
$6 grand.
Boom.
And then it's
$6
like
grand. I would probably think about.
But I like prepped for it. You know, like I was like I sold my old cameras. I had saved up.
Yeah.
I was in the market for a new camera.
If you're doing it
blink.
full time and you're making money off of it,
Yeah.
then it's easy.
It's obviously a part of the business and stuff like that. But anything outside of the business, I literally am like $6 for a t-shirt.
I know, right?
Are you kidding me? I can make a t-shirt for less.
Yeah, I look on I started seeing like a bunch of ads for like just plain like solid colored t-shirts that were like they're only $15 a t-shirt, and I was like, what the? So I started looking up videos of like people that reviewed these, and I saw one company that was literally taking the tag off of one of them and printing their logo on it that they were getting for like wholesale. So I just went and found the ones that were wholesale for like $4 or $5 a t-shirt, and they're the comfiest shirts I've ever worn.
And if you buy more at once, then it even goes down in price. Sometimes like you'll buy like they'll be like buy 100 shirts and they'll be $1 a shirt.
Right,
but I bought $1.75. You're like, Jesus Christ! All right,
8 shirts and it was like $40.
Like
and I wear them all the time, and they look good.
Dude, I look like fucking Phineas and Ferb in my closet because it's nothing but Wild Production shirts. Like all white and black, dude. That's it.
Shout out Wild.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. But it's I feel like a fucking idiot, but also I'm like they're so comfy. And
dude, this is a legit comfortable shirt.
So comfy.
You should make more. You would sell them.
I'm getting jackets made for the winter.
Oh snap!
But it's gonna be saucy.
What kind of jackets?
It'll be hoodies.
Yeah. My buddy, it's his birthday, November 5th, and I was trying to think. So his name is Gat, G-A-T. So don't release this before then. Yeah.
Don't release this before then. All right.
But he, we had been talking about this because he's into photography a little bit and a little bit of graphic design. But because his name is Gat, G-A-T, he was thinking of like the Caterpillar logo. And so I took the Caterpillar logo, made it into vector so I could mess around with it, turned the C into a G, and then tried to print it on like custom ink. And they said like it's too similar, so you have to change something about it. So he's from South Sudan, so I made the colors of the G, the A, and the T, and the yellow triangle from the cat like all the same colors as the South Sudanese flag.
Oh, sick.
And so it says Yeah, but with all the South Sudan colors.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
How cool is
It's
that?
sitting in my room. I haven't even opened it yet. And I kind of just want to give it to him first, but it's going to be his birthday present.
That'd be
so.
such a cool present, man.
Yeah.
I love doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
And it's so simple too. And
Yeah.
like I've messed around with that stuff for a long time. So I'm not like an expert graphic designer, but I can create some stuff. And that's what's fun about doing projects like that, is because it forces you to figure out how to do certain things that you're trying to accomplish. Like when you have a vision in mind, you're like, how do I get there?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's always fun.
Especially when it's for someone else too. Like I feel like you get such a weird, different boost of motivation to
Yeah.
actually complete it, because you're like, A, it's like I'm on a time crunch, like their birthday's coming or whatever it is. But B, it's like you're trying to find out this creative like way to express what's going on up in the noggin in a way that they'll like it and you like it, and they understand that you like, I don't know, the logo is like the relatability of the project.
Yeah.
In a way, I don't know how to describe that, but that's
One year we did something similar. We made him you can make custom street signs, like
What?
like construction grade street signs.
Sick.
You can make them and just print whatever you want on them, basically. And so we did one for him with his name, and then like the shape of South Sudan with the flag colors in the middle. So that's like hanging up somewhere in his room, I think. But so it's kind of similar, but this one's just like, it's just a plain white like jacket, no hoodie or anything, just plain white like Hanes sweatshirt.
That's dope.
But yeah, hopefully he likes it.
I want to make some jackets like that for sure.
Yeah.
I just want to get a little bit more creative in all genres of my business. I think it switches up a lot of the same redundancy with it. Like
Yeah.
making the jackets, making maybe some music videos,
Yeah.
and some short films.
A lot of the podcasts that I've been listening to.
Podcast too.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
Number one. The one that I was thinking about that was also making me think about, this guy wrote a book. It's called Work the System. I think his name's Sam Carpenter. But he was saying basically like, don't do what you love to do, because you'll find a way to hate it if you make that your main source of income. And I'm sure maybe you've experienced that in some ways.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But he was saying find something that you can make a system for, so you don't have to be there and the money keeps coming in. And I think we all understand that. Automation, stuff like that, where you can delegate to people and walk away. And that's the goal.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, totally. But I don't know, like it's like I don't really experience many like issues in my life where I'm like, I need to fix that. You know?
Yeah.
I need to find a solution.
Yeah, but I just think money. I think at the end of the day, money is the problem, and the solution is just the peace of mind of knowing that it's there in taking care of everything that you need it to take care of, and that peace of mind is just set in. I feel like once that is taken care of, then you can begin to focus on so many other aspects of your life that actually like you can put the energy in to things that make you happy without the anxiety of being like, I want to fish every fucking day, but these fish ain't paying the bills.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm out here on a fucking boat in the middle of nowhere,
Right.
but I'm not contributing to society, you know. This is what I want to do. It's two different you could be doing the exact same thing with two different outcomes, you know. If money is not the factor, then your life is way different.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. And I think like it wouldn't take a ton to get up and going
No.
with photography, because I'm already putting a lot of stuff in place for it, but it's also it's scary. There's a lot of security that I'd be leaving, like the job that I work at. You think about like the benefits, like medical, dental vision, insurance, 401k. Like I'm putting 30 grand away every year for retirement because they match 50%.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And I've done that the last 3 years now. So And I'm not saying
I
that like
got
I got
money.
the bank, dog. No, like but I put a
Did you
lot of
pay
it.
for this drink, dude?
Yeah. I will. You wanna go, okay, can I go buy you one? No, like but that's what I say. It's like I'm frugal and I think about that stuff a lot because I see two extremes in my life of my dad and my mom.
Mhm.
Like my mom, I do my mom's finances. I sit down with her once a month, once every 2 months, and we talk about all of her expenses and where she needs to stop spending, stuff like that. And
That's so crazy.
I have put tens of thousands of dollars away in a retirement account
Offshore bank
for
account.
her. Not an offshore one. Me and my sister have, and then yeah, and we helped her get a new job where she has like medical paid for because she's working in the medical field, so she doesn't have to pay for health insurance and stuff, just simple stuff like that. But it's cool to be able to help her with stuff like that because that's all second nature to me, and that's kind of what I grew up in. But it's also a reminder of where I don't want to be in the future.
Yeah.
And that thinking like she's turning 65 in December and still has to work. Like I couldn't imagine being at that point in my life and still feeling like I had to do something to work.
Yeah. Not in a conscious choice to be like, I actually want to work because I just want to, you know.
To have to rely on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to have to rely on it, but just to like communicate and like,
Yeah.
Move around and stay young and do whatever. You know?
Right. Yeah. So I've thrown a ton into that. I put most of the money that I have into investments right now because I know like I had a lot of it in my bank because I was like I'm just gonna keep it here and
Not touch it.
if I well not just not touch it but if I leave my job, which I was seriously considering
Yeah.
earlier in the year, I want to have that on hand just so I can make it for like a year or so, So I had it there, but and then I started to think about it and I was like, well, there's not really a timeline for that. And it's grown at least 6% per year. So I should probably put that into investments. So that's what I did. So that's where most of my money is, but
Compounding.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the eighth wonder of the world.
Yeah.
So I'm good about that. So I see my mom, right, as where I don't want to be, but then I see my dad as like retired at 53, set for life in a bunch of different pension systems, but he also has a construction business and owns an RV park and has all these other things in his life. So that's where I like get the drive. Is like I'm always constantly searching for stuff like that because I grew up watching it. It's like, okay, what next? How do I yeah, you got your job and that's going to give you like the security that you need, but like what's going to get you out of that to be doing something that you actually want to be doing?
Yeah.
So.
Security is security is just comfortability, and comfortability is just the death of life, man. Comfortability is the death of life. It's or not necessarily the death, but it's just it's definitely suffocating,
Yeah, I think I say Joe Rogan again. Most men live. Bastard.
You son of a bitch. You're so cool.
most men live a life of quiet desperation. He didn't say that. He quoted that on the show.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think it's true, and I feel like there's so many people that are doing things that they don't want to be doing, and I'm in that right now. I don't necessarily want to be in corporate America doing this stuff. So it's not what sets me on fire, what gets me like excited to wake up every day. Like I like the people I work with and stuff, but like if I didn't work there, would I talk to them? It's like maybe some of them, maybe not, but yeah, I don't know. It's and we've talked about this before, but it's like the jump, you got to make it at some point, but when is that right for you? Only you know.
Yeah, it is timing for sure, but it is do you think you're like on the path of setting yourself up for that jump? Like do you see the steps kind of forming in front of you to be able to,
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah, I mean, I explained them to you earlier.
Yeah,
it was like, okay, got the site set up, tweak a few things, post on Instagram, reach out to realtors,
Yeah.
repeat until you get enough business where you're doing like at least if I can get to what are the numbers on it? So if it's average $200 shoot per house,
Mm-hmm.
you'd have to do 500 shoots a year to make $100,000, which is a little over one per day. So if you divide that into weekdays, then it's basically 2 per weekday, I think is what it breaks down to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a lot.
No, it's very doable.
Especially if you're doing it full time.
It's very doable.
Because to do a shoot at first it'll take you an hour and a half maybe, depending on what kind of house you're doing and how much they order and things like that. But if it takes that long and you're exporting the editing, so let's say so my prices, for example, for 20 photos, for just regular editing, not anything fancy that I would outsource, would cost 70 cents a photo. So $14. And I'm charging $155. So my profit on that is what, $140?
I'll let you do the math on that one.
$140, right? Times 2, that's $280 a day. That's, I think, probably more than what I'm making at my job per day.
Yeah. A lot of people.
And that takes 2, maybe 3 hours to shoot during the day.
Yeah. And send it off. It's just
and driving included. Like maybe you have to drive across town, so maybe it's 3 or 4 hours. But if you're exporting the editing, which would take an additional 2 hours, and you're only paying $14 for it, like, I mean, it just saves so much time, and you can send it to them, and then they'll do it 6 or 7 hours usually, and give it back to you in the morning. You return it in 24 hours and tweak whatever the realtors need to tweak. You pay maybe $5 for the customer relationship management site, so they have an actual site where the photos are displayed. That's just the base package. That's $135, so you're making $270 a day. That's not hard at all.
No.
And whenever I talk about it, I'm like, God, this makes so much sense. I should really start doing this.
Yeah.
But so the numbers make a ton of sense to me. But then you start thinking about, okay, well, to get to 2 shoots a day, how many people do you have to reach out to? And it's the rule of thirds, right? A third will, a third won't, a third will not respond. So you just start multiplying backwards. And I basically found out that I would have to, what is it? I think it was DMing. I would have to DM, I think, 10 to 20 agents a day for 2 months or so to actually get enough people to say yes to where it would equal out to that many shoots per day.
And it's crazy too because
that's 2 months. That's not a lot of time.
No, it's really not.
Yeah.
But once you land one and you do, I don't know, typically I've landed one client, started shooting for them. By the 5th time I've shot for them, they were looking for a photographer and a videographer to take pictures for them because obviously they were out or they were just starting, and likely they know someone who is just starting or is missing out on a photographer. And so I've got 3 more clients based on one client instead of DMing a bunch of people.
Right.
As soon as you land 1 or 2, that automatically opens up 3 or 4 branching off from them.
Right.
Which you can continue. Obviously, DMing is very easy. You can copy and paste and just keep that going, automating that, and you know, keep picking people up. But as soon as you put your face in front of someone else and do the work and have it ready in 24 hours and make the process so simple, that's when they're it just becomes so easy,
right?
Because you're just being you, doing
and
your job,
the DMing thing is just a calculation that I made off of doing that, and maybe it takes 6 months because you're not as consistent or whatever, but the referral part of it is where it starts to snowball, and then you don't even need to DM people anymore because you're starting to get so many referrals to where it's I need to I don't have time to help all these people, and that's kind of the tipping point that you want to get to where you quit.
That's when you raise the prices, and then you see who stays,
Right.
and then you eliminate the excess amount of work. That way you have more time.
Yeah.
You're making the same amount of money,
Mhm.
and then anyone else who was kind of, there's always, just like you said, it's like people are interested, people are not respond, or yes, no, and then not responding.
Mhm.
There's, you raise your prices, and there's yes, no, and absolutely not. And the ones that say no are the ones that are on the fence, like the maybes. And over time, you'll get a couple, 2 or 3 of those that'll pop up every once in a while and be like, hey, like, you're just a little bit out of my budget to,
Yeah.
Be doing this 24/7, but I need your expertise in video this time.
Right.
And we'll pay you $1,000 for this house.
Right.
Like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, you get a random 1,000 from, or whatever the price you have set, and
Right.
these are small, random, fun clients.
Yeah, and that's the thing that it made so much sense to me why I started investing in like getting a gimbal, like upgrading my camera, getting a super wide lens, 16 to 35, just so I could shoot stuff like that.
Are you on the A7
A7 III?
III?
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah, finally got it. But that's why I started investing in things like that, is because I was like, this is the first legitimate way I have ever seen where there is a concrete laid out plan. Granted, yeah, I bought a course to show me all these things, but this is the first one that I actually thought, like, even before I bought the course, I was like, I already have a drone. I already have a camera. I like taking photos. I could do this shit.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, so I bought the course and I was like, oh, dude, piece of cake, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this year, it's like, I mean, even from like February to now, it's been 6-7 months. I've just been kind of like lazily setting up stuff, just kind of getting ready for like next year. But it's like, there's no timeline on it. So it's like, you can build and you can, I mean, obviously like right now it's not ideal because the weather's turning.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be hard to do the outdoor shots,
Yeah.
the drone shots, stuff like that,
Yeah.
if it's raining.
I got everyone, like, right now, like, trying to squeeze in
Right.
the last of it. You know?
They saw the
Like,
rain and they're like,
yeah.
Brandon,
dude, we have so much work to
Yeah.
do. I'm like, let's fucking go.
where were you
We're
a
stacking
month
up
ago?
for the winter.
Yeah.
We're stacking up for the winter.
Yeah. But it's like, if like you went down to Arizona, dude, you could do this all year round.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be
For
no
sure.
problem.
And that's what I want to do. That's one of my plans coming up soon is, I mean, the weddings over there are year round. The real estate's year round. But realistically, like, I might do the weddings maybe for a year or two just to get out there and live out there for a couple months in the winter. But I really just want to get out there and just start filming some documentaries, some movies, and short films, and
Yeah.
get it going, man. It's
Yeah. Do you have any like stories that you want to tell specifically, or?
yeah. The one that I posted the other day is something that I like. It's weird. I started editing it at random. Like, I just was like, had an idea about like how I was feeling towards like reaching potential, and like,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I was watching it and I was like, whoa, I connected with that super hard.
yeah,
Like,
that's
was- I
cool.
was like, holy
It
shit.
was just super random. Like, I was
Yeah.
just here editing, and then I like watched a couple clips that I had like on my computer, and I was like, there's something that I could just throw here. There's a bunch of shit that I could pull
Yeah.
up on my computer that I can create, but that was something that was just like kind of screaming at me at that point. So I put it together, and that's something that I want to work on, is like just go around to a bunch of different people doing a bunch of different stuff. Just people that are, I mean, everyday people that are trying to lose weight or start a business or reach that next level. Just really just finding a way to figure out what sets people back, what holds people back from achieving, what are people doing that actually help them achieve, people who have made it, people who are on their way to making it, people who are just waking up for the first day trying to make it.
That's cool.
That's what I want to see if I can capture and just make a little small short documentary about it, and just help some people out, honestly, because it helped me out. Just thinking about it was like it helped me like start editing like with more intention. It gave me a purpose to like actively look when I'm driving for places and sceneries to go film to help articulate what's going on in my mind, things like that. So that's something I want to do. I really, really, really had a fucking awesome idea about this like zombie film that I want to do. I've always wanted to shoot a zombie film, and I thought of a really just different way of filming it. It's hard to explain, but I want to do a film like that. And then, and inevitably, as time goes on, fucking sci-fi fantasy action film. I have to do it one day. My girl fucking hates me because I just love Marvel and I love watching all that shit, and I just love sci-fi fantasy stuff. But fuck, man, I'm gonna make one of the best movies ever.
Well, that's cool.
I am.
It's
gonna be crazy.
Man. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yes, sir. Well, is there? I'm getting kind of 10:42. Yeah.
Yikes.
Is there anything you wanna close off with?
Man, it's the first one.
His first one back.
It was pretty cool.
First one back, man.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, anytime, man. I've
be
been
here.
wanting you on for a long time, and I'm sorry that the first one didn't really work out.
Yeah.
We did one before, and the audio visuals were kind of jacked.
Yeah,
But
we kind of recreated it here a little bit, but yeah, I always like talking with you. I feel like
likewise, brother.
you give me so much perspective on things that I'm going through, not just because you're where I want to be in a lot of ways, but just because you're a cool person to talk to.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's super chill every time we hang out, you know, we just vibe, have a good time.
Yeah. That's all I want to do, man. I just want to vibe with you. You're awesome. Every time we kick it, I mean, it's so crazy because like we haven't known each other for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's kind of been a long time. It's been like 2 years, but we like see each other
every month or so.
Yeah, in like long periods of time. But every time, it's so weird. It's like we don't skip a beat. So it's so cool, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. It's I mean, this is something that I'm going to be doing hopefully all the time now, and just hanging out with people, getting to know people, and just vibing.
So, vibes.
You're always welcome, bud.
Appreciate you, bro.
If you want to eat a whole pizza on this fucking podcast one time in front of the fans, you let me know, dude.
I'll go get one right now. I'm so hungry.
Head to Coast tomorrow?
No.
Come on, dude. Let's go. All right, everyone. Thanks for showing up. Sick. Let me know if you want to be on. Let's get it.